My name is Vanesa Kamara. I I don't know really how I would describe myself. I'm a human being. I'm an artist. I'm a dancer, choreographer, showgirl, entertainer. I'm a trans woman, transgender activist. I'm an animal lover. I'm a human being lover. I'm 37 years old. I live alone in Hollywood, born and raised in Hollywood. I live alone with my cat. Well, you know, with the subject of gender identity, it's different for every person, you know. I mean, the society we live in has only two, definitions. You're either male or you're female, and, a lot of transgender persons like myself, we don't always necessarily fit in that, because what a lot of people don't realize is that the spectrum of gender is a lot bigger than what society teaches us. There are people like myself who, as far as I consider myself to be a woman. I think like a woman. I am a woman, but I was born with the physical male body, but not a male brain. So that makes me transgendered, and a lot of people have a hard time understanding that because, in this society you have to be either a male man with a penis or a female woman with a vagina, and there's no variation, and it's hard to, as a transgendered person, to know how to define yourself when you live in a world that doesn't know how to define you. So, and as a child, excuse me, it was very confusing. Now as an adult, I've been able, through education and through my own life experience, define myself, But when I was younger, I couldn't, I wasn't taught, I wasn't raised to even know who or what I am, Had to discover that, myself as an adult. I am a preoperative transsexual. I live my life as a woman. I'm on female hormones. I have not had complete sexual reassignment surgery as of yet, but it's one of my goals. Not everyone is, there's people that, trans women that just want to, maybe have breasts, and they have no plans on having, the full surgery, or they don't want to have any female body parts. They just want to, look the part, everyone is different based on, themselves. There's people that like to be androgynous, I don't necessarily consider that to be transgender, but they put it under a huge umbrella, in my definition of transgender, a transgendered person is someone like me that was born with a male body, but is got a female brain. So, it's unfortunate that, there's not more specific, ways to define, the different, parts under that umbrella. And, it's put in a huge umbrella that oftentimes doesn't fit. Like, for instance, the cross-dressers, the heterosexual men that wear dresses because it turns them on. That's put under the same umbrella as me. And I have absolutely nothing in common with, such a person. So it's frustrating that, people have this huge, umbrella of terms that fit a transgendered person or under the trans umbrella, and they don't necessarily go together, so a drag queen is a gay man that dresses up for either, professional reasons or just for fun. It's someone, that's where, a lot of times the line gets blurred, because, a lot of times gay men will really like the attention that comes from either being dressed up as a woman or, even, to the point of thinking that they're actually transgendered, but a lot of times they're not. A lot of times they're just a gay man that really likes the attention, and once the attention's gone, and once the glitz and the glamour is gone, they don't really want to be women. So there is a difference between, a trans woman and, a drag queen or, a transvestite. It's a different motivation behind it. Like, for me, I am who I am because it's who I am and it's for me. It's not to get guys or to get attention. It's because this is who I am. This is how, I feel on the inside. It's not about how I look or how gorgeous I was, because if I was, 12 feet tall, 900 pounds, I would still be myself, regardless, So it's the motivation is completely different. Preoperative transsexual is, in my definition, someone who is in the process of becoming physically female.
And
which means taking hormones, having silicone in your body, feminizing your body, but with the intent of finishing the job one day, as opposed to, other forms of transgender women that, just want to look externally, like a woman. Well, I don't know. I don't live my life for that day. It's something that I'm very much, it's a very expensive surgery, I don't know if I'll ever, be able to afford it, it's to me, it's something that, don't get me wrong, it's something I very much want, but it's not something that I'm gonna die if I don't have. It's really another cosmetic enhancement. I would like to have it done because I would be more comfortable. I would like my body better. Dressing myself would be more comfortable. Well, it's been very challenging. From the beginning, I didn't always look the way I looked, but I was always exactly the person that I am today. I was born like this. So being born like this, being born a girl in a boy's body, it's challenging from birth, and it's been challenging from birth, it's my family, my parents, people did not understand, my parents did not know what to do with me, they were absolutely confused, it was like, why are you like this, don't you understand that you're a little boy? Little boys are not supposed to talk like that, walk like that. They're not supposed to be the way you are. Why are you that way? Look at your brothers. Your brothers are not like that. Why are you that way? So it was challenging from the beginning. There was less challenges before I started physically transitioning. And the biggest challenge for me was giving up my career. I was a professional dancer, had an agent, I was working, and I was good, and, I taught kindergarten. I was a teacher's assistant for kindergarten. And I left it all when I started my transition, and I was very fearful in the beginning. I didn't want to, excuse me, something's eyelash. I didn't want to cross paths with the people that that knew me before. I didn't take class. I didn't want to see people from before, even my family. I kind of disappeared for a while, started my transition, and then reemerged, and pretty much forgot about my life, how it had been before. And it's kind of a regret. I wish I had been wise enough and strong enough and brave enough at that time to not stop dancing. If I knew what I knew now, I would have, tiptoed my little tranny butt right to the auditions like everyone else when I was still young enough to do it, So yeah, I stopped dancing for like maybe, junior high school when I really got serious. Yeah, I think 9th grade is when I got really serious. And then, I went to a performing arts high school, and, I was working right out of high school. I was in a dance company, where, I was the only minor in a company of adults. Yeah, and I just stopped, for like 15 years. I recently, about, 3 years ago, started dancing. 4 years ago, started dancing again when I went back to school. I went back to school. I'm currently in school, to get my, credential to teach, because, I still dance, I still perform, but my focus is more heavily towards teaching and choreography. So I'm in school right now to get my degree, so I can teach. But that was a huge disadvantage, that being trans did not I didn't have the confidence to follow my dream when I was young. I would have liked to have made a different choice. Yeah, I would like to have been born a normal genetic female. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I would much, rather that than any other possible scenario that I could think of. Yeah, it'd be lovely to be, in a world where, being trans is acceptable, and that would be a good second choice. But first choice, yeah, I'd like to have been born with a matching body and brain. So yeah, to have been born female would be my first choice. I don't look at it as a curse. I look at it as a challenge. I look at it as my destiny. It's my journey, and I kind of look at it as a little bit of, it's my journey because, it's who I'm meant to be, and, I feel like, we all are given, the journeys that we're meant to, to go through, and this is the one I was meant to, and I'm okay with it. I'm not, wrecked or unhappy because, I have to be trans. I'm very blessed. I have a lot to be thankful for, and I live, this is 2009, and it's, I'm fine with it. I may have had to have been, but however I got to where I'm at now, yeah, I'm fine with myself.